Nightmare Moon was one of the strongest ponies out there, but why couldn't she beat the main six before they got to the elements of harmony? And was her power being held back? When Celestia sent Twilight to the Ponyville for the first time, Twilight was able to find 5 ponies that would change the course of equestrian history forever. Together, her and her friends managed to locate the elements of harmony and defeat one of the strongest ponies to ever return to Equestria, Nightmare Moon. But something always bothered me about this. Nightmare Moon was able to overpower Celestia and would have beaten her if it wasn't for the elements of harmony. So why would she let Twilight and her friends find them? Especially since after Nightmare Moon declared the night would last forever, Twilight went back to her library to try to find a book on the elements of harmony. And after Pinkie Pie found it, Twilight found out that the elements of harmony were located at the castle of the two sisters. But all of this was being said while Nightmare Moon was listening in. So she obviously knew what they were up to. But instead of doing the logical thing and defeating them before they had a chance to find the elements, she decided to toy with them instead. And while this could be seen as her way of dealing with them and having some fun after being banished after 1,000 years, which I guess kinda makes sense since she wouldn't just come back after being banished for 1,000 years and catch up on some of her shows on Ponyflix. But think back to when Luna first turned into Nightmare Moon. The first thing she did was move the moon into the sky. Soon after that, she started destroying everything that symbolized Celestia's rule. She only stopped when Celestia herself showed up, confronted her, and demanded that she immediately lower the moon. And of course she said no and immediately attacked her sister. Which is weird because the past Nightmare Moon was willing to do whatever it took to get what she wanted. But when she returned, she instead started toying with the main six instead of dealing with them immediately. It's almost like these are 2 different Nightmare Moons. But maybe they are. Think about it. When Starlight Glimmer used Star Swirl spell to go back in time and stop the Sonic Rainboom, she created multiple timelines where the villains of Equestria managed to rule. And in one of those timelines, Nightmare Moon was ruling over Equestria. This version of Nightmare Moon not only managed to banish Celestia to the moon, but she also managed to brainwash all of Equestria into worshipping only her. But the really interesting thing is when Twilight tried to get Rarity's help in returning to the past. Nightmare Moon was listening in and wasted no time in devising a plan to take advantage of the time spell. So she took Spike hostage and demanded that Twilight show her where the cutie map was. That way she would stop anyone from threatening her rule by destroying the elements of harmony. Which is interesting because this version of Nightmare Moon was willing to do whatever it took to make sure her rule was final. There may have been something acting against Nightmare Moon. Something that doesn't affect the Nightmare Moon that fought Celestia, or the one in the alternate timeline. And I think Luna is the key to this. Think back to when Luna was talking to Twilight during Nightmare Night. She says, "It was thou that unleashed the powers of harmony upon us and took away our dark powers." Notice how she refers to herself as us. And after Twilight questions whether that's a good thing, Luna replies by saying, "But of course, we could not be happier." This gives us a lot of information on how Luna felt about Nightmare Moon, but it also gives us her motivation. Luna wanted to be set free. She didn't want to be Nightmare Moon anymore, but she knew that she didn't have the power to do it on her own. Luna must have heard when Twilight said that she knew who Nightmare Moon was. Then, Luna took advantage of the situation by influencing Nightmare Moon to spy on Twilight at the library, where they both overheard Twilight mention that they were going to find the elements of harmony. Luna then put a plan together to make sure that they succeeded. And all she had to do was trick Nightmare Moon into thinking that she only had to toy with the main six. After all, what better way is there to destroy your alter ego than through sabotage? And all she had to do to defeat Nightmare Moon was tell her that they were the rightful rulers of Equestria. All they had to do was just destroy the Tree of Harmony. So why would they have to use their full power on a bunch of random ponies? This was enough to convince Nightmare Moon to just toy with the main six. That explains why the Nightmare Moon of the past and in the alternate timeline were so different from the one that fought against the main six. The Nightmare Moon of the past wasn't being influenced by Luna, since Luna wanted her to do what she couldn't. And in the alternate timeline, Luna didn't have the main six to give her the hope she needed to hold back Nightmare Moon. So she ultimately surrendered and let Nightmare Moon take complete control over her. I like to think that this is the reason why Nightmare Moon didn't just destroy the main six, and it even gives Luna plenty of motivation to stop it from happening. It really makes me wonder though, is there more to the Nightmare Moon timeline than I originally thought? I guess I'll never find out. Okay, I'm messing with ya. Nameless.
Let me guess. You want me to take you to Nightmare Moon's timeline?
Yeah, could you do that?
Fine. But at least finish what you're doing first.
Okay, so what do you think about it? Was Luna really the reason Nightmare Moon didn't just destroy the main six? And if she wasn't, who was? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you like this theory, leave a like. And if you want more, subscribe and ring the bell. And I'm Windstriker Brony, flying off until Friday after next. Hoof to heart, everyone! So, do I just walk into the...
There you go.